All right, this is not the Hunting Dog Podcast. Well, okay, technically it is because it's on my feed. This is something that we just came up with last month, and it's called the Kennel Panel. This is not sponsored by my sponsors, so the beauty of this one is you don't have 8 to 12 minutes of me talking about products that you do need, but you won't have to listen to on these episodes. This episode is going to be with experienced dog handlers Trent and Heather Hardy, Ted Beneman, Scott Goldman, and myself, and we're going to be talking about experiences raising puppies, from feeding them to traveling with them, how early they do things with their dog. It's, instead of having just one person, it's a whole lot of people and a whole lot of opinions, which we all know opinions are like what? Everybody's got one. But we're all on the same page, and we're learning from each other, and that's kind of what this whole dog world's all about. But the real beauty of this episode is you can watch it on YouTube. There will be a link in the description, and you can watch this on YouTube. And it's not just like one static camera set up on the side and you see the back of somebody's head and the front of... No. We shot this with 3 cameras, boom mics. I mean, professional, okay? And you get to see the kennel. You get to see the reaction on people's faces. And personally, when there's an interesting topic, I love watching a podcast, which I was always kind of like, why would people want to watch a podcast? It's what I do when I drive. But YouTube is where it's at, and what we've done, thank God, I have a friend and webmaster who happens to be the most talented editor in the outdoor world. And he came over and is going to continue to come over and set up 2 or 3 or 4 cameras and get everybody, as they're talking, go to each person, see the reactions. Sometimes when you talk with your hands, that actually makes more of a difference. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you go to the YouTube channel to watch it. If you don't have time, listen to it anyway. If you do have time, please go to the YouTube channel. There will be a link in here. It'll be in the title Kennel Panel. So just look for that. All right? This is going to be fun. This is going to come out I might throw 2 of these out an extra month. And see, I still managed to kill 2.5 minutes explaining this. But in the future, it'll just be HDP, the Kennel Panel. And you're going to know it's going to be a bunch of people talking about subjects that were near and dear to our heart, from testing and training, from puppy development to older dog development, to where to hunt, how to hunt. It's gonna have, but it's always gonna have a panel format, and it's always gonna be filmed. And we hope you enjoy it. We've all had new dogs many times, right? How much extra downtime do you spend with your dog when you have, or with a new pup versus an older one? And what I mean by downtime is in the house, doing extra stuff, cuddling, like involving him with a lot of stuff you're doing. Do you spend extra time with a new pup versus one of your older ones?
Oh, yeah. But how can you not? Like, it's a puppy, right? So you want to be with it and want to, take it on walks and get it going and start that early developmental stuff.
Not walk wouldn't even count. I mean, like
true, in the house.
True downtime in the house. I don't mean, because a walk is good for the dog. Yeah. Like, that makes sense. Sure, take a dog on a puppy walk. Has to be on a puppy walk. I mean, like, when you're done, you're in the house, is that puppy getting more attention than your other dog?
100%, yeah. It's a puppy. How are you going to leave it alone?
Well, there's a reason why I have this question.
Yeah. And an old dog, I mean, you still pat them or whatever, play tug of war or whatever in the house, but they're looking out the window at the Tweety birds or doing whatever, but the puppy is getting vast majority of the attention.
So an extra hour maybe even, or better, if you've got the time at home. Mm-hmm. You let them just sit in the lap and when you watch TV and snooze on the lap and everything?
Ours do, yeah.
Heather?
Ours are house dogs.
So you have no outside kennel runs?
No.
So your dogs are kenneled in the house when you're gone, though? Like in transport kennels or wire kennels?
Yeah, they have the wire kennels at home and then transport kennels.
Gotcha. How about you?
No, I'd say my puppy gets less attention. I only pop the puppies out for training. in my opinion, makes them more love the game because they know when they're getting popped out, they're doing some sort of walk or exploring something. And when we go in the house, it's kennel training time. And so the big dogs get to...
Big dogs have the run of the house.
They can walk around and do what... And with having kids and lots of dogs, all the dogs are in my house.
Right.
So 5 dogs in the house. I can't, if my 5-year-old drops something on the ground they can eat, it's kind of dangerous.
Right.
So the puppies literally get popped out for training.
For a reason.
And I mean, we'll maybe at nighttime, like me and my wife, will cuddle the puppies for a little while until they get too rambunctious. So it's not like we don't love on them, but they definitely...
You don't over...
Yeah. And it shows in my dogs. Like they lose their mind to go train. That's what they think is or hunt. But yeah, I would say the puppies, they get their attention other ways. And then once they hit a certain age and they can be in the house,
then they're in a program. Just like all the other dogs.
Yeah, they can free range the house and stuff. But I have a 1-year-old dog that just like last night we let her she's starting to be able to stay out of the kennel and stuff. And my wife woke up and was like, no, go put her back down. Cause she's like, oh my gosh, I can jump on the bed and off the bed and on the bed and off the bed. And like, she hasn't found her place in the house to sleep. The other one dog sleeps under a chair. One dog sleeps next to the bed. They got their spots.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, I would say our puppies, they get plenty of attention, but
you don't, nothing extra.
No.
No. How about you, Scott?
I don't know. That's, to me, that question is yes, I spend more time, and no. But I mean, so when they're in the house, I'm taking that time to potty train them.
Which is crate training, basically.
It is crate training, but then it also maybe free roaming. I'm trying to teach them what they can and cannot do.
Okay.
Repetition, right?
Like not past a certain threshold or not a certain room of the house.
I don't want you to try to jump up on the counter, put you in the kitchen, try to do that,
okay.
or grab my socks and run through the house. I'm starting to try to make those corrections.
Right.
And then I do crate training, but I also at times I'll put them, because we have outside kennels too, and I'll put them in that kennel because I'm sort of grading them on composure at that time too.
That's one of the reasons
I'm also doing that with a dog crate.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what kind of composure the dog can have, how long it takes to settle down, because I'm sort of grading them on that. I mean, I know they're a puppy.
Right.
But
there's a lot of different puppies when it comes to crate training.
I'm making mental notes out of all this stuff, right? So I'll also, like you said, I'll let them sit in the chair with me and I'll pet them up or something like that, or maybe next to the chair or whatever. But I'm trying to teach them something.
There's a lot of training opportunities throughout the day. If you're going to have a household dog, that, you can quick snap, you can see them doing something bad, and that's a quick opportunity. If you have the time, you've got a lot of kids running through the house. Yeah. We have no kids. Yeah. So it's literally us and the dogs. So we can pay attention a lot closer to a dog. And if a dog grabs something or drops something, or a kid, we don't have a kid to drop something that the dog's going to eat. So the house is pretty much dog proof versus the other way around with the kids.
The only kid is you.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying to really
My kids are pretty well.
I knew you wanted to say that, Heather.
Like our neighborhood's like the 80s. Like there's tons of kids. We might have 10 kids in the backyard.
Yeah.
And all of those kids are like, try to get our dogs to chase them. And my kids will go up to them and be like, you're not allowed to have dogs chase you. That's bad.
Yeah.
Like, or you can't put your, the puppies want to chew on your hands.
Yeah.
And my kids, I don't even have to say anything.
Yep.
My 5-year-old would be like, you can't put your hand in a dog's mouth. They're going to learn to bite.
Yeah.
And so my kids are pretty good about that, but
it's just different households. Just what do you got going on? How much time you got to spend with them? And
there's certain things I do with a puppy too to look for aggression.
Okay.
I mean, I'll always buy a pig ear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, a pig ear, if you give that puppy a pig ear and then you try to take it away from him at times, the ones that growl and get shitty with you typically are going to have aggression problems, in my opinion.
Probably a German dog.
I've seen it with all breeds, right? And then the other thing that's has to be acceptable in my house is we have those nylobones, right? And all the dogs can chew, and they can chew on the same one together. If there's ever a growl or anything like that, that's a big no-no in my house. I mean, there is no...
Now, will you correct the dog on that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not allowed, period.
Right. So you're just kind of making... You're
I'm
giving them a little
that.
more time, but you're doing a lot of analysis.
I am, yeah. Because there's certain things, if I see...
that you just...
that I know are going to be a problem
that's
later.
going to pop up again.
And then I'll really watch that. And I've seen it enough where I know that it's a 90% chance that dog is not going to make it.
Or not going to play fair, not going to play good with others, or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is a potential to be a people biter or a dog biter or something like that. So there's certain things that I really watch.
I don't tend to spend more time with the puppy, but my puppies are never in the house. We're the opposite. This kennel is like my house because I'm out here all day.
Right.
I like the fact that they just kind of like Ted said, I want them to get used to confinement. I want them to get used to the kennel. And when I'm on the phone, you'll see the newest dog that I just got, that 10-month-old. I'm on the phone and she starts barking. If I get up and let her out, she's just learned that that's how she gets out. So when I've had little puppies here, I know they're going to do it, and I just talk through it. And to me, it's that impulse control that you're working with. And I don't think anything that you guys have described is something I would not agree with. But I know people who it's like they got a brand new baby at home, and they're watching it, and it's instead of kenneling it, instead of ignoring it, they're just overdoing it with it.
Yeah, there's...
Well, no, it's like your first...
overdone.
It's your first child to your second child.
Yeah,
your first child, the baby cries, and you're like, oh my God,
call the doctor.
What's wrong? And then you get your second kid, and you're like, just go back to sleep.
It's not important.
Yeah, they need to figure this out. They're going to, you don't run. So
I consider this like my house. So when they all get to go out, I'll let the little puppy go out with them, and then they all go back in. Yeah. And then, with a puppy, I might come out here and play a retrieve or get the dog used to the table, but it's always back in the kennel.
Yeah.
And no one's ever going to say I had great dogs, but I've never been on film or anywhere. Once I've had a dog that I've trained that I can't open the door and say kennel. Yeah. And there's nothing worse than, as our friend Matt knew last year, we could put some B-roll to this.
Yeah,
we don't have it on camera.
You guys that tried to get it in?
Oh yeah,
tried.
It tried.
We
got
succeeded.
it.
But it took.
Oh yeah,
he told me the story.
Everybody's knuckles were cut up trying to get. Yeah. And that's to Matt. I think you could even speak to this. When you started crate training Frost, you hit this roadblock and you were afraid to push past it, and you don't have kids at home either, so you're both like, well, we've never had an unruly teenager before. What do we do with it? And you literally told us he won't go into kennel. Yeah. He won't go into kennel. And I would, if I was going to, be a blowhard and speculate, that dog was probably not kenneled a lot in enough places as a little puppy, because it just shouldn't have been a thing.
Right.
They should just accept whatever you give them. No.
Well, I think it was different for Matt because at home you were using like the open wire. Yeah. So when he's going into a kennel,
he can see everything. Right.
And now this is like the first time that he's going into a
cave,
dark hole,
like a cave,
with smaller vents and stuff. So that's probably a good thing to do. If that's all you have at home is that wire one, throw a blanket over it. And have them go into some darker, holes that maybe you can't see everything out of it, because vast majority of, if you're going to put them in a kennel when you're traveling, it's going to be a darker. Smaller place.
Yeah. And I've had even some of my dogs that I would say would kennel anywhere go into a different shaped kennel one time and to stop.
Yeah.
But if I kennel,
okay. They're going to smile and be a little hesitant at first. They want to know what,
But they get it. They understand.
They're going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, after that trip, I can just mumble kennel. That dog.
The next day and he jumped off the ground.
You never see anything like this. 3 grown men had 4 legs and the head trying to get this dog in the kennel. And it was an aluminum edge kennel, and everybody came out with their knuckles all cut up on aluminum.
I started taking, like, even the litter of puppies that I have, like, I was driving them around in a kennel when they were 6 weeks old, like, getting them used to it.
One of the things I do too is I always grab their feet and play with their feet every single day and pretend like I'm trimming their nails, and I open their mouth, I check their teeth, I grab their teeth, stick my fingers in their ear every single day. I mean, but that's just
that I would consider certainly training. Yeah, my question kind of stemmed from kind of giving them too much free range.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I think a lot of people make mistakes. Is just, and they're like, "Oh my God, he's shit again over there." Well, it wouldn't have happened if you were watching them, you know, and if you took them out.
If you got an open house and you've got 20 people around, you know,
they're gonna make a mistake.
You gotta pay attention. If they're gonna be out, you gotta dedicate the time to watching them.
Even our grown dogs, though, if we have a bunch of people over, we just put them in the kennel.
Yeah, they just go.
Or even a puppy, like if I'm cooking dinner or something. That dog's going to go sit in the kennel. The older ones might be out, but they don't.
And that's the real advantage of it, because when you do that to them, they're like, oh, it's kennel time. Yeah. It's not a big deal. When we have company come over, because there's grandkids, Sue puts her corgi out here because that dog is so low and he's never bit anybody. But she's like, no, these kids don't know how to play with a dog. Right. Like you said, your friend, your kids' friends, they don't know.
They don't know. But my kids, like, they've been around so many. Like,
they're the dog wardens of the neighborhood.
Well, like I take them during the summer and they're out of school. Like I said, I go train pretty much every day. So they're around so many dogs and so many dog people where it's like they know, like, I can't ask to touch a dog until training's over, and stuff like that.
Please hit like and subscribe.
Can you say it?
Please like and subscribe.
What they're trying to say is, please hit the like and subscribe button so I can take them on a ride. Is that good? All right. Say bye-bye. 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 Oh, we're going. We're boys. We're going. We're boys.